Have you ever looked at the Charlotte skyline and wondered if this big city reward are still worth a big city cost for you?
Now, a recent economic report describes Charlotte as a high-velocity growth engine. It's an impressive title, but really, it means that high-end professionals, people that are starting to feel a little too crowded, a little bit too expensive, and a little bit too loud.
Exactly. Therefore, the problem is not the city Charlotte itself, it's the friction. When you are spending 25 minutes each way fighting the traffic on I-77, you are not just losing fuel, you're losing 50 hours of your life every single year, and you're trading those malleable assets for a break of lights.
Break lights when you're staying on traffic. Exactly. Today, when you explore a different kind of growth, we're looking at how many people and many of our clients are relocating from Charlotte and adjusting with ease. When they move out of the Charlotte area and they come to an economic powerhouse like Greenville, North Carolina. And so by the end of this video, we're going to talk about moving 160 miles east, staying in North Carolina, but can give you back your time, your life, protect your capital, and really it's a place to one of the fastest growing places in North Carolina.
Exactly. Therefore, we wanted to first talk about economy, which is my wife actually specialty, but I don't want it to interrupt, and I wanted to give this duty to my wife to talk about it.
Okay. When people think about moving from Charlotte to Greenville, they're often sometimes thinking, what are they going to lose if they do this? Because they think, oh, small town. But the data shows something very different, and the reality of us living here can also tell you it's different than what you think. You're not leaving growth, you're choosing a different flavor of growth. Now, Charlotte is a financial hub. It's got a lot of banks. It's defined by banking and corporate density. It's a great place to build your career, but it's also a place that's heavily influenced by the global financial market.
And the other side, which we are, Greenville, North Carolina, transformed into a global production and technology hub. And this city of the Greenville is currently seeing billions of dollars in private investment. While Charlotte manages the money in North Carolina, Greenville makes things that world actually they need them. And we are talking about precision engineering, advanced food production, and life sciences.
Now, for a high-end professional, this is an exciting frontier. Many global players like Thermo Fisher, Global, Calatin, Hyster, Gale have moved to Greenville and made their home, and more are definitely coming. But these are not just local businesses. They are international leaders in a high floor of economic stability, and they have high-paying jobs with professional roles.
Exactly. In fact, research project that 21% of the new jobs in Greenville, North Carolina will require a master or doctorate degree. And that is the highest percentage of advanced degree job growth in entire state of North Carolina.
So you aren't moving to a small town when you pick Greenville, North Carolina. You're moving to a specialized professional hub where you see your expertise is the primary currency. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful reasons professionals are really moving in here is really housing. We're real estate agents. So exactly. You want to talk to me more about that?
Exactly. As my wife said, this is the most important factors that you need to looking at it. In Charlotte, for example, the median home value is roughly $387,500. This is the
And we know that's low because what we're saying for Greenville is also low. We're just looking at the median.
Exactly. On the other side, in Greenville, North Carolina, this median home value is approximately $233,500.
For a professional family, this isn't just a lower mortgage, it's reallocating your wealth. If you take the equity that you already have or you've already built in your Charlotte suburb and you're moving to a custom built property in Greenville, North Carolina, you might actually be saving money in the process. And if you're looking at the most sought after areas professionals, you're going to see that our market is still moving pretty fast.
In early 2026, the median sales price in this premier pocket were around $347,700 with values growing by 16% year over year. What about Charlotte?
And while Charlotte's market is still increasing in a lot of inventory and it's up nearly 40%, Greenville's professional areas are very, very tight. And in some areas there's 2 months of supply, and in some places they sell within 4 to 9 days.
Exactly. Therefore, what it means for you, this means that while your money goes further, you need also to be decisive. You're trading a crowd market with for a high growth market where the quality of your home is often significantly higher for the same price point.
Now, you are also reclaiming 1 week of your life. Now, we talked about that before. The average commute time in Charlotte is 25 minutes. Now, if you have to go from one end of Greenville to the other, that is going to be about 19 minutes, and that is one end to the other. Your job is probably going to be much closer than that. I'm just using from one end to the other. Now, that 6 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but if you have 12 minutes a day, that's 50 hours of your life, and that's where that came in. So if you're spending more than that in Charlotte, you're spending a half an hour each way, that's an hour, the numbers just add up quick. Now, this is where this is more than a work week just with those 12 minutes a day.
Exactly. Therefore, instead of sitting on 485, you could be at Greenville Greenway or on the golf course or home in time with your kids or going to your kids' practice.
That sounds nice. And this is basically the time is something we do not get back. And that is ultimately what the most wealthy of us really, really want. We want to control our time. So the utility... See, I said us. That sounds like, right? Utilities and infrastructure. When we're between cities, one of the biggest things that is more in detail, but it's something we do pay attention is our utility bill, right? So when we moved from Pittsburgh to Greenville, we were like shocked at how much cheaper it was because it was just Pittsburgh had a lot of bills. So when we're going from Charlotte, you're going from Duke Energy. You're likely dealing with Duke. And in Greenville, you're going to be the GUC, Greenville Utilities Commission, because GUC is municipally owned. The rates are very competitive. In fact, the residential electrical price is about 19.8% below the state average. However,
you should also be aware that how they're structured their bills. There is a base facility charge that covers the city's infrastructure. For example, for home with all the 4 services, which is including electric, water, sewer, and gas, this base fee can be nearly $100 before you use a single drop of water or turning the light and using your gas log.
Now, either way, if you're professional home with a family, the lower utility rates usually save you money in the long run, which is always what we want. But a professional who's traveling and has that lock and leave lifestyle, this is really going to save you even more money. It's about knowing the data to make the rules. Now, let's talk about the next thing, which is safety and school.
Exactly. Therefore, for many of you that you have kids and you have more than a couple, basically you care about the school, you care about the safety of the place that you wanted to live.
And our approach is going to be looking at the data portals and really letting you make an informed decision based on the data. And for this, we're going to point to the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, which is the SBI report for safety.
Exactly. And when you look at the crime rate per 100,000 residents, you will find the Pitt County often maintain lower rates for both violent and property crime than many larger metropolitan area in the state of North Carolina.
And it also has community-focused footprints that provide you a sense of security for your growing family. Now, when it comes to schools, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction gives a report card for the state. And we understand that you can look that up really easily, but I would pay attention to the growth card because what is absolutely important is those tests are important, but the growth card will tell you overall how much progress students have actually made throughout the school year, and that gives you a clear data-backed view of what is going on, not necessarily the test, but what's going on in that learning environment.
Exactly. Therefore, while absolute test score are
No. By using the state portals, you can compare yourself simply. Let's talk about the lifestyle.
Exactly. Let's talk about the lifestyle. And finally, we wanted to talk about...
And I'm interrupting my husband about that schools because there's a lot of rules and I like to make sure we always follow rules. So he knows this. Now let's talk about lifestyle.
Exactly. Therefore, let's talk about what is happening with the lifestyle in these 2 cities that we were talking about. Charlotte is a city of the professional sport and big league energy. It's a city that is literally nearly 1 million people living there. On the other side, Greenville really is a regional hub. It serves as a center of the commerce, healthcare, and culture of the entire eastern region of the state of North Carolina. And life here is really river centric, and this city has invested heavily in outdoor areas in our area.
And of course, our vinegar-based barbecue, which is a staple in North Carolina, in Greenville anyway. Greenville is a hotbed for recreation. You have the Tar River for kayaking, fishing, 36 parks, including Wildwood and River North. And these facilities offer pristine trails for running, cycling, swimming sometimes in the summer. And it is more than just a human scale for lifestyle. You can be a leader in the community, rather just a face in the nameless crowd.
Exactly. Therefore, moving from Charlotte to Greenville is not a setback. It's a step forward into more international intentional life growth, high lifestyle growth, and you're choosing to put your time and your money where they can really work for you the hardest in your life for your loved one.
You know, if you're looking for a home in the Greenville, North Carolina area, or if you're looking for a neighborhood, we would love to help you because that's what we do all day, every day.
Exactly. Here we are, Alan Victoria Pina, real estate agent in Greenville and Winterville, and of course, Pitt County, North Carolina. We love to connect with you and see what is your story and how me and my wife can offer you the best services. And don't forget to look at all of our videos, everything about our area in whole Pitt County and specifically for Greenville and Winterville. And don't forget to subscribe in our channel and write us a comment, and we love to help you in this journey, and we are here for you, and have a blessed day.